Thank you. You may be seated, please. Chairman Emeritus to the Council of Governors, my good friend Martin Wambora, the brand new elected chair, Governor Anne Waiguru, the Vice Chair, the Whip, the facilitators to this induction seminar, all resource persons, the Chair of the Deputy Governor's Caucus, your Vice Chair and the team, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to deliver a speech on behalf of His Excellency the President, William Samoei Ruto, EGH, the Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, who was supposed to grace this occasion but is, due to unavoidable circumstances, engaged elsewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, it gives me great pleasure to join you today as we close this induction workshop. I believe these last 3 days have been very illuminating, especially for those of you who have been newly elected. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you on your election and re-election as governors and deputy governors. This is an illustration of the trust that your county residents have on you. I note with satisfaction that 7 women governors have been elected, up from 3 in the last general election. I wish to take this opportunity to specifically congratulate them for coming out victorious during the just concluded elections. I'm further gratified to note that we have 8 women deputy governors, whom I also wish to congratulate for this great achievement. If Kenya continues on this trajectory, I believe we will join other countries in the region that have scored highly in achieving gender parity. The leadership positions you hold are critical, and it was therefore important for you to participate in the induction program that was aimed at preparing you to assume office responsibilities. This is particularly important considering that counties play a key role in our socio-economic development. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of the 3 days induction, allow me to share a few thoughts on my government support and commitment to devolution in the next 5 years. The devolved system of government has been implemented since 2013. During this period, the country has experienced commendable socio-economic development. In the last 9 years, counties have received over 3.2 trillion Kenya shillings as equitable share of revenue, which has increased investments in the counties, leading to improved service delivery. Some of the key economic sectors that have benefited from this investment include health, education, water, roads, energy, housing, agriculture, and trade. For example, in the health and education sectors, counties constructed 1,419 dispensaries and 821 early childhood development ECD centers between 2013 and 2018. Though we have had good progress in implementation of the devolution, it is noted that there is still much we can do to improve on implementation of devolution as envisaged in our 2010 Constitution. I am aware that counties have raised concerns with the delays in the disbursement of equitable share of revenue by the national government. In our manifesto of Kenya Kwanza, we committed ourselves to ensuring that the shareable revenue is transferred to counties in a timely and predictable manner and in accordance with the law. This will ensure that counties carry on with their development activities without interruptions, including meeting their financial obligations. Accordingly, I will engage the National Treasury to ensure that there are no further delays and that all disbursements to the counties are done on time to enable counties to meet their obligations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am informed that the average potential of on-source revenue for the 47 counties is 171.7 billion. However, actual collections have averaged only 32.9 billion, which is a huge shortfall on the expected revenues of the counties. This therefore means that the counties are unable to meet their budgetary commitments. We are committed to working with county government to ensure and enhance their capacity to generate their own income and supplement transfers from the national government. As part of these efforts, I will engage the Cabinet with a view to reintroduce the Bill on On-Source Revenue in Parliament to give the counties a legal framework for enhancing revenue collection at the county levels. And you can count on me to support that when it comes. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, one major area of dissatisfaction in the counties is the delay in transferring all the devolved functions. We are committed to the complete transfer of all functions constitutionally earmarked for the counties. I therefore want to direct the Ministry of Devolution to complete the process of unbundling of all these functions and the National Treasury to avail the attendant necessary funds to complete the exercise. I am also aware that the valuation and transfer of assets and liabilities relating to the devolved functions has not been completed due to insufficient funds. I am therefore directing the National Treasury to provide sufficient funds for this task to the Minister of Devolution to ensure that the exercise is completed as soon as possible. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, by now, you are all aware that both the counties and the national government are struggling with the payment of pending bills to merchants and contractors, while at the same time balancing the development needs of our counties and the country. While it is critical to ascertain the validity of the pending bills before payment, it is of paramount importance that these bills are paid. Many ordinary Kenyans who provide goods and services to the national and county governments have remained unpaid for a long period, and some have even lost their properties that they use as collaterals to guarantee bank overdrafts. Our economy is driven by the efforts of such Kenyans through small and medium enterprises, SMEs, yet the pending bills have destroyed their businesses, thereby contracting the Kenyan economy and reducing our potential to create job opportunities, especially for the youth and women. I am therefore directing that both the national and county governments comply with the financial regulations which stipulate that pending bills are cleared as a first charge in the beginning of a financial year. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give my assurance that as a government, we will continue working with the counties and other stakeholders in the devolution sector to strengthen the policy and legislative framework to support operations at the counties. Currently, the government is reviewing the policy on devolved system of government to make it more responsive to emerging issues in the implementation of devolution. I am therefore calling for your support and participation to enrich this policy so that it captures the aspirations of our counties. Article 6.2 of the Constitution envisages for a two-tier system of government and recognizes their distinctiveness and interdependence, requiring them to conduct their mutual relations in consultation and cooperation. Harmonious intergovernmental relations are critical in strengthening interactions between the national and county governments. The legal framework has established various intergovernmental structures aimed at facilitating the said interactions. I want to emphasize to you, Excellencies, my commitment to strengthen and rejuvenate the laid down intergovernmental structures as primary platforms for engagement between the two levels of government in the cooperation and resolution of matters of interest. Further, I wish to urge that the two levels of government embrace alternative dispute resolution mechanisms in the resolution of any intergovernmental disputes. This is an amicable and cost-effective method of resolving intergovernmental conflicts. Various courts have now guided that regarding intergovernmental disputes, the parties must first exhaust the alternative dispute resolution mechanisms before seeking judicial intervention. I also wish to reiterate the government's commitment to support county governments in building the requisite capacity to enable them to discharge their mandates effectively. In this regard, the national government has developed the National Capacity Building Framework, which guides and harmonizes interventions and funding targeted to capacity building programs in counties. Finally, Excellencies, it is my expectation that with the resources at your disposal, there will be improved governance, efficient and effective development, and service delivery. With these remarks, I therefore wish to formally close this induction workshop. Your Excellencies, on my part, I will just add one or two things. One, to congratulate personally each one of you for the grueling campaigns you have gone through and the successful election that you all deserved after that election. Two, we have gone around the country in each of your counties, not once, not twice, and I can tell you that from my perspective, I saw many, many positive attributes to devolution. From high-rise structures in far-flung Wote in Makueni, to a 3-star hotel in Wajir full with lifts and everything and internet, to tarmac roads in many, many places, devolution is truly the gift to the people of Kenya. And you as the midwives and the champions, we encourage you and urge you to ensure that it becomes the engine of our economic growth. It becomes the cornerstone of creation of jobs, particularly in rural areas. And above all, it becomes part and parcel of our intergovernmental engagement to see that public resources are not expended in a duplex manner, and the national government, as you have heard from His Excellency's statement, will unbundle all the pending devolution functions with attendant resources down to the counties. On my part, any legislation that requires to enhance the strength and success of devolution, I assure you, you can count on me and my counterpart in the Senate, who has been one of your own Governor, Amason Kingi. We are going to be facilitators and not an impediment to the enhancement of devolution. I have walked the journey of devolution from the creation and crafting of the 2010 Constitution in the last 2 terms in the Senate, and I do know where it pinches. The tension and rifts between the 2 houses of Parliament, the observance of Article 110(3) of the Constitution in concurrence on bills, and the seamless flow of legislation from one house to another are things that we are going to pay very close attention to. And as governors and your council and your resource teams, be encouraged and feel free to engineer legislation to come to the houses where there are delays from either the national government or other sponsors of bills to ensure that we support devolution, because I know the people of Kenya voted for the Constitution 2010, research shows, because 68% was in support of devolution. Thank you, Your Excellencies, and let's make Kenya greater and greater. Let's put behind us the tensions that we had during campaigns and embark on construction and reconstruction of our economy for Kenyans to live better lives, and for you as governors to live your counties when your terms end better than you found them. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Another round of applause to our chief guest, Your Excellency, the Speaker of the National Assembly. We think as COG that we have the best chance as a country to implement devolution, particularly with you, a former senator sitting as the Speaker of the National Assembly, and our own brother Amason Kingi as the Speaker of the Senate. We definitely think